Imagine a man sitting in his tent at night, writing down his thoughts. He is not just any man, he is the Emperor of Rome, the most powerful person in the world. But he does not write about war, wealth, or ruling an empire. Instead, he writes about how to be a good person, how to stay calm in difficult times, and how to find peace in a world full of trouble. This man is Marcus Aurelius, and his book is not written for an audience. It is his personal journal filled with advice to himself. He reminds himself to be kind, to control his emotions, and to accept what he cannot change. He writes about life, death, and the importance of doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. Anyone should read this book because it teaches how to stay strong in hard times. Life is full of challenges, problems at work, difficult people, and things we cannot control. Marcus Aurelius faced all of these, yet he remained calm and wise. His words help anyone find inner peace, no matter what happens around them. This is not a book about history or philosophy that is hard to understand. It's about real life. It is a guide to being a better person, making good choices, and finding peace in a busy world. Book 1, Debts and Lessons, Acknowledgements to Influences in My Life. I have learned many important lessons from the people in my life, and I am deeply grateful for their influence. Each of them shaped me in different ways, teaching me how to live with wisdom, strength, and virtue. Without their guidance, I would not be the person I am today. From my grandfather, I learned kindness and the importance of staying calm in every situation. He showed me that true strength is not in anger, but in patience and understanding. From my father, I learned modesty, self control, and a deep respect for others. He taught me to live with dignity and to avoid seeking attention or praise. My mother showed me the value of generosity and simplicity. She lived without luxury, never desiring more than what was necessary, and she taught me to do the same. From my great grandfather, I learned the importance of hard work and keeping my promises. He always did what he said he would do, and I strive to follow his example. My teachers played a great role in shaping my thinking. Rusticus, one of my most important mentors, helped me recognize the dangers of arrogance and vanity. He encouraged me to read with understanding, not just to impress others with knowledge. He taught me to speak honestly, to avoid unnecessary criticism of others, and to keep my emotions under control. Thanks to him, I learned the value of humility and self discipline. From Sextus, I learned how to be gentle and to live in harmony with nature. He showed me how to remain calm even in difficult situations, never acting out of anger or frustration. His ability to stay composed no matter the circumstances was something I deeply admired. From Alexander the Grammarian, I learned to correct others with kindness rather than harshness. Instead of embarrassing people for their mistakes, he would guide them patiently, making learning a positive experience rather than a painful one. Fronto taught me the power of true friendship and the importance of expressing my thoughts with care. He helped me understand how words can inspire, heal, or harm, and he encouraged me to always speak with wisdom and consideration. From Maximus, I learned strength, patience, and resilience. He faced hardships without complaint, always maintaining a cheerful and steady spirit. He never let misfortune shake his inner peace, and his example taught me to endure life's challenges with the same quiet strength. I owe much of my character to these people. They taught me how to be honest, humble, and disciplined. They reminded me that wisdom is not just in words, but in actions. That true power is not in ruling others, but in ruling oneself. Their lessons continue to guide me every day, helping me live with purpose, integrity, and peace. Book 2, The Impermanence of Life and the Importance of Virtue. Each morning, I remind myself that I will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, dishonest, arrogant, and rude. But I cannot let their actions disturb my peace. They act this way because they do not understand what is good and just. My duty is to remain true to my principles, to be kind, and to never allow their behavior to make me act unjustly in return. If I live according to reason and virtue, no one can truly harm me. Their words and actions are meaningless unless I allow them to affect me. Life is short. Every moment that passes is lost forever, and soon I will be gone, just like those who came before me. The emperors, philosophers, and warriors of the past, all their struggles, desires, and achievements have vanished. This is the fate of all human beings. Remembering this helps me focus on what truly matters. I must not waste my time chasing fame, wealth, or pleasure. These things are temporary and they do not bring real happiness. The only thing that lasts is virtue, the choice to act with wisdom, justice, courage, and self control. I cannot control what happens around me, but I can control my mind. If I train myself to see every situation with reason, I will never be a victim of anger, fear, or sadness. If someone insults me, it is only words. Their opinion does not change who I am. If I lose something, it was never truly mine to keep. If I face hardship, I must endure it with patience, knowing that everything passes in time. My mind determines whether I suffer or remain at peace. If I remind myself that life is fleeting and beyond my control, then I will stop worrying about things that do not matter. I must live every day as if it were my last, not in recklessness, but in awareness. I should not waste time on distractions, gossip, or complaints. Instead, I should focus on doing what is right, helping others, and keeping my thoughts pure. If death comes today, I should be able to face it without regret, knowing I have lived with honor and purpose. There is no need to fear death. It is a natural part of existence, and just as I do not fear the time before I was born, I should not fear the time after I am gone. The opinions of others do not matter. Soon they too will be gone, and their judgments will be forgotten. I must not seek approval or fear criticism. Instead, I should follow the path of virtue, even if no one notices. The only thing that matters is whether I have lived as a good and just person. People will talk, they will praise or blame, but none of it is important. What truly matters is whether I have remained true to my values. Everything in life is temporary: pain, pleasure, success, failure. But virtue is eternal. If I live with wisdom and goodness, I will have lived well, no matter how long or short my time may be. The world will continue as it always has, and I am just a small part of it. Instead of trying to leave a name behind, I should focus on living rightly in the present. If I do this, I will find peace, no matter what happens. Book 3: The Role of Rationality and Living in Accordance with Nature. I must always remember that I am a rational being, capable of thought, reason, and self control. My mind is my greatest tool, and I must use it wisely. If I allow my emotions to control me, anger, fear, desire, or pride, I become no better than an animal, acting on impulse instead of understanding. But if I think clearly, if I judge things according to reason, I will always find the right path. Nature has given me the ability to see the truth, to separate what is important from what is meaningless. I should not waste my time on small worries, on things that have no lasting value. I should not let the opinions of others trouble me, nor should I chase pleasures that fade as quickly as they come. My only concern should be to live in harmony with reason and to follow the natural order of life. The universe has a structure, a purpose, and I am a part of it. Just as the sun rises and sets, just as the seasons change, so too must I accept my role in the grand design. There is no use in resisting what is natural. If events do not go as I wish, I must remind myself that everything happens for a reason. Complaining or fighting against fate does nothing. Instead, I should align myself with what is meant to be, embracing every challenge with wisdom and patience. Every living thing follows its nature. A tree grows toward the sun, a river flows to the sea, and animals act on instinct. But I have something more. I have reason. My duty is to use this gift to act not out of impulse, but with thought and understanding. If I choose wisdom over foolishness, if I choose patience over frustration, if I choose virtue over selfish desires, I will be fulfilling my role as a human being. When I face difficulties, I must not see them as obstacles, but as opportunities. A fire grows stronger when the wind blows against it, and so too must I grow stronger when life tests me. I must welcome hardships, knowing they are part of the natural order. If I face them with reason and courage, they cannot harm me. I must also remember that I am part of a greater whole. Just as a hand serves the body, I must serve humanity. I am not separate from others. I exist in a community, and my actions affect those around me. If I live only for myself, I am acting against nature. My duty is to contribute, to help, to be just and fair in all my dealings. I must not act out of selfishness, but always with the greater good in mind. There is no greater peace than living in harmony with nature and reason. If I do this, nothing can truly harm me. I will not be disturbed by misfortune, nor will I be led astray by pleasure. I will remain steady, like a rock against the waves, unmoved by things outside my control. My purpose is clear: to think wisely, to act justly, and to live in accordance with the natural order of the universe. If I follow this path, I will have lived well. Book 4: The Transience of All Things and the Pursuit of Inner Peace. Everything in this world is temporary, and it is this truth that must shape my understanding of life. The world itself, my life, and everything I hold dear, all of it will one day pass away. What seems so significant today may be gone tomorrow. The people I love, the things I possess, and the desires I chase, none of these will last forever. This realization should not lead to sadness or fear, but to a deeper understanding of what is truly important. I must not cling to things that are fleeting, for doing so will only lead to disappointment and loss. The lives of those who came before me have already ended, and in time my own life will come to an end as well. Generations of people have lived, struggled, and passed away, leaving only the faintest traces of their existence. What will remain when I am gone? Perhaps only memories, or even those will fade over time. This awareness should not make me anxious, but rather help me focus on what is lasting and valuable. The only thing that truly matters is how I choose to live in the present, not the things I possess or the accomplishments I achieve. I cannot control the flow of time. I cannot halt the changes that life brings or stop the inevitable end of all things. What I can control, however, is my mind and my reactions. I cannot control the world around me, but I can control how I respond to it. I must learn to focus on what is within my power, my thoughts, my actions, my character. By mastering myself and living with virtue, I can find peace amidst the chaos of the world. If I embrace the truth of impermanence, I will find a deeper sense of peace. If I accept that everything in life is temporary, whether it is joy, pain, success, or loss, I will not be disturbed when things change. I will not grieve when I lose what I thought was mine, nor will I fear the future or what I cannot control. Instead of fighting against the inevitable flow of life, I will learn to move with it, accepting its changes with grace and wisdom. The key to lasting peace is acceptance. I must accept that life is ever changing and that nothing, not even my own life, will last forever. This acceptance is not a resignation to fate, but a clear understanding that everything in life is part of the grand cycle of existence. From birth to death, from joy to sorrow, all things are transient. By recognizing this, I free myself from the burden of expectation and the fear of loss. Peace comes not from external circumstances, but from within. I do not need wealth, power, or fame to feel at peace. I do not need to control my environment or the people around me. The only thing I truly need is to cultivate virtue, to act with wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. These are the qualities that lead to inner peace, not fleeting pleasures or material possessions. When I am troubled, I must return to this inner peace. I must remind myself that I cannot control what happens around me, but I can always control my reaction. Life may present me with challenges, but I do not need to be overwhelmed by them. If I approach each moment with a calm and clear mind, I will remain steady no matter the storm around me. I must learn to let go of attachment to anything that is not within my control, and in doing so, I will find freedom and tranquility. By focusing on what is permanent, my character, my ability to reason, and my commitment to living virtuously, I will remain grounded and unshaken. The world will continue to change, but my peace will not depend on it. I will be like a tree standing firm in the wind, unshaken by the passing storms. As I live in accordance with nature and reason, I will find peace in every moment, no matter what the world brings my way. Book 5: Duty, Action, and Overcoming Laziness. Each day offers a new chance to fulfill my duty and live with purpose. As the morning arrives, I must wake with the understanding that I am not here to simply exist, but to take action. Laziness is the silent thief of time, and to allow myself to fall into it is to rob myself of the life I am meant to live. It is easy to be comfortable, to stay in bed, to procrastinate, but the truly meaningful life is one that is fueled by effort, discipline, and forward movement. I am not on this earth to seek pleasure or avoid hardship. I am here to serve a greater purpose, to contribute to the world, and to fulfill the responsibilities that come with being human. Life will always present challenges, difficulties that I cannot avoid no matter how hard I try. It is not my duty to escape from them, but to face them with courage and strength. If I choose to ignore my responsibilities and avoid taking action because of laziness, I am betraying the very essence of who I am. It is not what happens in the world that defines me, but how I respond to it. Duty is often difficult and sometimes unpleasant, but it is always necessary. Whether it is through my work, my relationships, or my personal development, I must give my best effort every day. There is no room for procrastination or excuses. Every moment presents an opportunity to act, to grow, to contribute. I must stay focused on the bigger picture, the larger purpose of my existence, and not get lost in the fleeting distractions that life throws my way. Action, however, must be driven by reason. It is not enough to simply act for the sake of acting. I must ensure that my actions are aligned with my values and that they contribute to the greater good. It is only through reason and wisdom that I can make decisions that are truly beneficial. Every task, no matter how insignificant it seems, must be approached with careful attention. Through consistent and thoughtful effort, I will make progress. Laziness often arises when I lose sight of the importance of what I am doing. When I forget why I am acting, when I lose my sense of purpose, I become distracted, tired, and reluctant to continue. But if I keep my sense of duty at the forefront of my mind, I will find the energy and motivation to push through. I must always remind myself that the work I do is not just for me, but for the world around me. Whether I am helping others, carrying out my work, or developing myself, I must act with the intention to contribute to something greater than my own desires. It is important to recognize that hard work and discomfort are not things to be feared but embraced. Challenges, though difficult, are the very things that build character, strength, and resilience. If I seek ease, if I shy away from work because it is hard or inconvenient, I will never grow. The struggle I face today shapes the person I will become tomorrow. I must not avoid hardship, but face it with the belief that it will make me stronger, wiser, and more capable. There will always be moments when I feel tired, reluctant, or unsure of myself. In those moments, I must remember my duty. I must remember that time is limited and that every moment spent in laziness is a moment I will never get back. I must seize the opportunities I have and not waste time waiting for the perfect moment, for it may never come. I have the power to choose how I spend each moment of my life, and I must choose action, choose to fulfill my responsibilities, and choose to live with purpose. To live a life of meaning, I must act every day. I must not allow my feelings to dictate my actions. Even when I do not feel motivated or inspired, I must remind myself that it is through action that I will achieve my goals, fulfill my duties, and find fulfillment. Waiting for the perfect time or ideal conditions will only lead to missed opportunities. Instead, I must begin now with what I have and do what I can. Through consistent action, I will move closer to the person I am meant to be, and I will fulfill my purpose. In the end, it is the sum of my actions day by day that will determine whether I have lived a life of meaning. Book 6, Universal Order and Acceptance of Fate. I must remember that the universe operates according to a natural order, one that is beyond my full understanding. It is a force that governs all things, every star in the sky, every movement of nature, and every moment of my life. This universal order is not chaotic or random. It is purposeful, even when it does not make sense to me. I cannot control it, and I must not fight against it. Instead, I must accept it, for in accepting the flow of life as it comes, I align myself with the wisdom of the universe. I often wish for things to go my way, for my life to unfold as I imagine it should. But the reality is that things rarely go as planned. Unexpected events occur, challenges arise, and life presents situations I did not anticipate. This is the nature of the world I live in, and it is beyond my ability to control. I cannot dictate the future or change the past, but I can control how I respond to what life presents. Fate is not something to be feared or resented, for it is an integral part of the universal order. Every event, every encounter, and every challenge I face is a part of the plan that the universe has set in motion. Instead of resisting what happens to me, I must accept it. Whether it is joy or sorrow, success or failure, each experience contributes to my growth and understanding. What matters is not the event itself, but how I choose to react. If I resist or fight against the natural flow of life, I only create conflict and suffering for myself. But if I accept what comes with grace and wisdom, I will find peace even in the most difficult circumstances. The key to peace is not control, but acceptance. I do not need to understand the reasons behind everything that happens, for there is much beyond my comprehension. What I can do is trust that the universe, in its wisdom, is guiding me toward my purpose. When I face adversity, I must remember that it is an opportunity to grow. The difficulties I encounter are not obstacles to my happiness. They are lessons that help me become who I am meant to be. I must also remember that I am part of this greater order. Just as a small part of a machine cannot function without the rest, I too am a small part of the vast universe. My actions, my choices, and my life are intertwined with the lives of others, and I must not act in isolation. I am connected to everything around me, and every action I take has an impact on the world. Though I may not be able to understand everything that happens or see the reasons behind every event, I must trust that the universe knows what it is doing. If I accept the flow of life, I will be at peace with the world, and I will find my place in it. Even when I do not understand the purpose behind my struggles, I must trust that they are leading me to where I need to be. When things go wrong or when life does not unfold as I wish, I must remind myself that this is a part of the universal order. My purpose is not to control the events of my life, but to live in harmony with the universe. If I accept fate, I will find peace. If I resist it, I will only create inner turmoil. The more I accept life as it is, without judgment, without resistance, the more I align myself with the universal order. I will not waste energy fighting against fate, but will embrace the flow of life. Whether I face hardship or ease, I must accept it all, knowing that it is part of the larger design. In doing so, I will find peace in every moment, and I will live in harmony with the world around me. Book 7: Death, Change, and the Nature of Reality. Death is a constant and inescapable part of life, a truth that applies to all living things. It is the one certainty that I cannot escape, no matter how much I may wish otherwise. I am born, and one day I will die. The thought of death may stir discomfort, but I must come to terms with it, for it is an essential part of my existence. Rather than fearing death or pretending it doesn't exist, I must learn to accept it as a natural and inevitable part of the journey. By doing so, I allow myself to live more fully, with an awareness that every moment is precious. The reality of death should not bring sorrow, but rather deepen my appreciation for life. It is in knowing that life is fleeting that I realize the importance of living with purpose. The time I have is limited, and each day is a gift that should not be wasted. Death, in its certainty, invites me to live intentionally, to treasure the moments that I have, and to act with mindfulness in every experience. It is the impermanence of life that makes each moment valuable. Knowing that my time is finite urges me to make the most of it. Death is not an adversary, nor is it something to fear. It is simply a part of the natural order, an inevitable transition that is as much a part of life as birth itself. I need not resist death, for doing so only creates unnecessary suffering. Instead, I must embrace its inevitability, understanding that it is woven into the fabric of existence. Death is not the opposite of life, it is a part of it. Both life and death are essential to the balance of the world. When I accept this, I find peace, for I no longer feel the need to fight against what cannot be changed. This understanding of death also extends to the inevitability of change. Change is a force that governs everything in existence. The world around me, the people I encounter, even my own body are in constant flux. Time moves forward, seasons shift, and circumstances evolve. Nothing remains the same, and this is the way of the universe. Change is not something I should resist. Rather, it is something I must learn to flow with. The more I accept change, the less I will struggle with it. Trying to hold on to the past or control the future only leads to frustration. Instead, I must learn to live in the present, embracing the flow of life as it unfolds. The reality of change teaches me to let go of attachments, whether to people, things, or situations. When I understand that nothing is permanent, I am freed from the fear of loss. Every relationship, every moment, every achievement is fleeting, and this knowledge invites me to savor what I have while it lasts. Change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is through change that I learn, grow, and become a better version of myself. I should not resist the transformations that occur in my life. Whether they come in the form of challenges, transitions, or even moments of loss, each change is an opportunity to adapt, to grow stronger, and to discover new aspects of myself. Change brings new lessons, and by accepting it, I become more resilient, more at peace with the natural flow of life. The nature of reality itself is in constant motion. Everything I encounter is part of a greater cycle of transformation, and nothing remains static. The seasons change, the earth shifts, and I, too, am constantly evolving. The more I accept this, the more I can align myself with the universe's natural order. I must not become overly attached to any one thing or phase of life, for all things, whether good or bad, are temporary. Understanding this allows me to live with greater freedom, as I no longer feel bound to the past or anxious about the future. In the face of death and change, I must remain grounded in the present. I cannot control when death will come, nor can I prevent change from occurring. What I can control is how I respond to these forces. I will not resist the inevitable, but will embrace the flow of life, knowing that death and change are as much a part of the universe as life itself. Instead of being troubled by them, I will find peace in accepting them. Ultimately, life's fleeting nature, with all its changes and impermanence, is what gives it meaning. The awareness that everything is temporary encourages me to live fully and with intention. Each moment is an opportunity to act with purpose, to love, to learn, and to grow. By embracing the reality of death and change, I find freedom. I release the need to control what I cannot, and instead focus on living authentically, with an open heart and a mind at peace with the nature of existence. Book 8, Self Control, Justice, and Living in Harmony. Self control is the foundation of a life of virtue and purpose. Without it, I am driven by fleeting impulses, emotions, and distractions, losing sight of what truly matters. If I allow myself to be ruled by my desires and whims, I lose my sense of direction. Self control allows me to remain grounded and make decisions with wisdom, not momentary pleasure in mind. It gives me the ability to choose my actions thoughtfully without being overwhelmed by external pressures or internal urges. When I act with self discipline, I ensure that my choices align with my values, not with momentary emotions or irrational desires. Self control requires awareness, a conscious understanding of the present moment and my own thoughts. It means noticing when my mind begins to wander or when I am being pulled towards something that does not align with my higher goals. In those moments, I must pause and reflect before acting. This awareness helps me avoid acting on impulse or reacting hastily. It is a practice, one that requires constant effort and vigilance. The more I cultivate this awareness, the better equipped I am to make decisions that will ultimately serve me in the long term. By maintaining self control, I free myself from the grip of desire and allow my actions to be guided by reason and purpose. Justice is equally essential to living a life of virtue. Justice is not just about being fair or treating others with equality. It is a deeper commitment to doing what is right, regardless of circumstances or recognition. Justice is the ability to make decisions based on what is morally right, even when it's difficult, uncomfortable, or inconvenient. It calls me to put the greater good above my personal interests, to act in ways that contribute to the well being of all people. Justice is not only about punishing wrongdoers, but about understanding the full context of any situation. It requires empathy, the ability to see the world through the eyes of others. Every person is carrying their own burdens and fighting their own battles, and I must approach each interaction with understanding and compassion. Instead of judging based on my limited perspective, I must open my heart and mind to the experiences of others. In this way, I can act justly, not by condemning, but by helping, understanding, and offering support where needed. True justice does not seek revenge, but aims to heal, promote fairness, and bring peace. Harmony is the natural result of living with self control and justice. When I practice self discipline, I begin to create a sense of balance within myself. I am no longer pulled in different directions by my emotions or desires, but instead I act with purpose and intention. This inner harmony enables me to interact with others in a way that fosters peace and cooperation. I am no longer at odds with myself, and this sense of unity allows me to relate to others with greater ease and kindness. Living in harmony with others means acting in ways that promote mutual respect, understanding, and goodwill. Every action I take has an impact, and I must be mindful of how my behavior affects those around me. By cultivating a sense of harmony in my own life, I contribute to the collective peace of the world. I realize that I am part of something greater than myself, and that my actions, no matter how small, ripple out to affect the world at large. When I live in harmony with the greater order of the universe, I am aligned with the natural flow of life, which is always in motion. Conflict may arise, but by accepting the ebb and flow of life, I can navigate challenges with greater ease. Harmony, however, is not simply about avoiding conflict or getting along with others. True harmony is the understanding that everything has a purpose and that each experience, whether positive or negative, is a necessary part of life's greater design. It is about aligning my actions with this understanding, recognizing that all things are interconnected and that I am part of a larger universal whole. When I see the world through this lens, I approach every situation with an open heart and mind, ready to accept both the harmony and discord that comes my way. By embracing both, I find deeper peace within myself. Self control, justice, and harmony are all intertwined. When I exercise self control, I build a foundation of inner strength that enables me to act justly. By practicing justice, I contribute to the harmony of the world around me, ensuring that fairness and respect guide my interactions with others. And by living in harmony with the world, I create an environment where peace, understanding, and mutual respect flourish. These three virtues are not isolated from one another. They work together to create a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. When I commit to embodying self control, justice, and harmony, I do not just improve my own life, but also contribute to the well being of everyone I encounter. Uh, I create a ripple effect that touches the lives of others and creates a world where virtue, fairness, and peace are the guiding principles. In this way, I not only find purpose and meaning for myself, but help to shape a world where these values are shared by all. Through the cultivation of these virtues, I align myself with the natural flow of life, bringing peace to both myself and those around me. Book 9: The Power of Perception and Handling Adversity. Perception shapes my experience of life. It's not the world around me that directly affects my happiness, but how I choose to perceive the events that happen. Life brings inevitable challenges, but how I view and respond to them determines my peace. I can choose to see difficulties as obstacles or opportunities for growth. It's not the events themselves that cause suffering, but the judgments and thoughts I attach to them. By shifting my perception, I gain control over how I respond, allowing me to approach life with calm and resilience. When adversity strikes, I must remember that I have control over my thoughts and emotions. External challenges are often beyond my influence, but my reaction to them is in my hands. I can't change the past, but I can control how I respond in the present. By reframing situations as opportunities to grow rather than insurmountable obstacles, I regain control and respond with clarity and strength. Perception is key to handling adversity effectively. My perception also affects how I view others. In difficult relationships or conflicts, it can be easy to react with anger or frustration. But if I shift my perspective and understand that everyone is facing their own struggles, I can approach them with empathy and patience. This change in perception helps me navigate relationships more harmoniously, responding with compassion rather than judgment. Adversity is an essential part of life's learning process. Each challenge offers me a chance to practice virtues such as resilience, patience, and perseverance. These difficulties shape me into a stronger, more capable person. Adversity is not something to avoid, but something to embrace, knowing that it leads to personal growth. The way I perceive adversity can change my experience of it. If I see challenges as enemies, I may react with frustration, but if I view them as opportunities for growth, I can approach them with purpose and calm. Every difficulty is a chance to build character and resilience, making me better equipped to handle future challenges. Perspective is crucial in managing adversity. When overwhelmed, it's easy to forget that no situation is permanent. Life constantly changes, and hardships eventually pass. By keeping this in mind, I maintain a clear perspective and avoid becoming trapped in the intensity of the moment. Ultimately, my ability to handle adversity comes down to how I respond. Life is full of challenges, and it is through facing them that I grow. The power of perception allows me to choose how I experience these challenges, shifting my mindset to see them as opportunities for improvement. By reframing my thoughts, I can transform difficult situations into chances for personal growth. Adversity isn't something to fear, it is an opportunity for growth. By shifting my perception, I build strength and wisdom, turning each challenge into a stepping stone. Through this process, I learn to navigate life with resilience, knowing that each struggle shapes me into the person I am meant to be. Book 10: Mindfulness, Simplicity, and the Importance of Perspective. Mindfulness is about being present in the moment, fully aware of my thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without letting distractions or judgments take over. In today's fast paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the past or the future, constantly replaying past mistakes or worrying about what's to come. However, true peace comes when I ground myself in the present. Mindfulness allows me to break free from this cycle, helping me observe my thoughts and emotions as they come without becoming overwhelmed by them. It teaches me to pause before reacting, creating space for clarity. In this space, I can choose how I respond thoughtfully and intentionally. Practicing mindfulness brings me closer to the reality of each moment, enabling me to face challenges with greater composure, clarity, and calmness. Simplicity is another powerful tool for living a more focused and fulfilling life. In a world that constantly pushes for more possessions, more success, more distractions, simplicity offers a refreshing alternative. By letting go of the excess, whether physical or mental, I create room for what truly matters. This doesn't mean living without anything or rejecting progress, but rather cutting through the clutter and focusing on the essential aspects of life. Simplicity can apply to my environment, my goals, and even my relationships. It's about eliminating the noise and the unnecessary to make space for peace and clarity. When I embrace simplicity, I can appreciate the beauty in the small moments and find joy in the simple things, whether it's a quiet walk, a meaningful conversation, or a few moments of solitude. In this way, simplicity helps me live with purpose, clarity, and contentment. Perspective plays a vital role in how I navigate life's challenges. It's not always what happens to me that shapes my experience, but how I choose to view what happens. If I focus only on what's going wrong or the obstacles in my path, I risk falling into frustration, anger, or despair. However, when I choose to shift my focus and view life's challenges as opportunities for growth, I transform my mindset and experience. Even in difficult moments, I have the power to choose how to interpret them. A challenge may be difficult, but it can also teach me resilience, patience, or new insights. By seeing things through a positive or growth focused lens, I can maintain peace, even when facing hardships. Perspective allows me to shift my mindset, find meaning in any situation, and build a sense of gratitude, no matter the circumstances. The combination of mindfulness, simplicity, and perspective creates a balanced approach to life that helps me stay grounded amidst the chaos. Mindfulness keeps me in the present, allowing me to observe my thoughts and emotions without judgment. Simplicity helps me clear away the distractions, focusing only on what truly adds value to my life. Perspective allows me to embrace life's challenges with openness, seeing each one as an opportunity for growth. These practices work together to foster a life of purpose, inner peace, and joy. Through mindfulness, simplicity, and a mindful perspective, I can navigate the complexities of life with clarity and confidence, finding meaning in every moment and growing through every experience. Book 11: Leadership, Ethics, and Practical Wisdom. Leadership is not about exercising control or seeking power over others. True leadership emerges from guiding with wisdom, integrity, and a commitment to the common good. A leader's role is not to demand respect, but to earn it through consistent actions that reflect personal virtue and moral strength. It is about setting an example through every decision, demonstrating values such as fairness, humility, and courage. A genuine leader does not place themselves above others, but works to uplift and support those they lead. Leadership requires a deep awareness of responsibility, recognizing that every decision affects both the individuals being led and the broader community. It's about creating an environment where others can thrive, and the focus is not on personal gain, but on serving the collective good. Through humility and self awareness, a leader inspires confidence, fosters growth, and directs efforts toward a shared vision. Ethics form the foundation of how I lead and interact with the world. It is not merely about following rules, but about acting in harmony with virtues such as justice, honesty, and respect. Every action I take reflects my inner character, and it is my ethical compass that guides my decisions, especially when external pressures or challenges arise. To live ethically is to make choices based on what is right, not what is easiest or most convenient. Ethics is a daily practice, one that requires me to align my decisions with values that prioritize fairness, integrity, and respect for others. It is too easy to justify unethical behavior when faced with temptations, but true strength lies in doing what is right, even when it is difficult. Living ethically means taking responsibility for my actions and recognizing the broader consequences they have on others. Each decision, big or small, shapes not only my character but the world around me. Practical wisdom, or phronesis, is the ability to navigate life's challenges with clarity, understanding, and foresight. It involves knowing what is appropriate in each situation, recognizing the balance between theory and action, and making decisions that serve the greater good. Practical wisdom requires not just knowledge, but experience and judgment. It is the ability to assess situations critically, consider long term consequences, and act with a sense of purpose. This wisdom is not derived from books alone, but from a lifetime of reflecting on one's experiences, understanding human nature, and learning from past decisions. It's about knowing when to act decisively and when to wait, when to speak and when to listen. It is the ability to make choices that not only serve my own interests, but contribute positively to the lives of others and the community as a whole. The wise leader uses their judgment to ensure that their actions have a lasting positive impact. For leadership, ethics, and practical wisdom to be truly effective, they must work in harmony. Leadership without ethics can lead to manipulation and exploitation, undermining trust and respect. Ethics without practical wisdom can lead to idealism disconnected from reality, making it difficult to translate principles into action. Wisdom without ethical grounding can result in decisions that, while logical, may harm others regardless of intent. These elements must complement one another, creating a framework for decision making that is both just and effective. To lead successfully, I must be able to navigate challenges with a clear sense of right and wrong, while making decisions that are rooted in both practical understanding and moral principles. Leadership is not confined to positions of power. It is a responsibility I carry in all aspects of life. Whether I am leading in a formal role, guiding a team, or simply engaging with others, I am called to lead with integrity, compassion, and wisdom. Every interaction is an opportunity to lead through example, fostering trust, collaboration, and growth. Leadership requires a constant awareness of my actions and their impact, as well as a commitment to creating a positive, inclusive environment where everyone can reach their potential. Living a life grounded in leadership, ethics, and practical wisdom requires constant self examination. I must ask myself, am I leading with humility? Do my actions reflect my core values? Are my decisions ultimately benefiting others? This ongoing reflection ensures that my leadership is always aligned with the higher purpose of service rather than self interest. It challenges me to grow, to learn from my mistakes, and to continually strive for better judgment and greater wisdom. The pursuit of these principles is a lifelong journey. There will always be challenges, temptations, and uncertainties, but by continually aligning my decisions with ethical principles and practical wisdom, I can build a life of meaning, influence, and service. Leadership, ethics, and practical wisdom are not mere ideals. They are practices that shape my character and guide my actions. In embracing these principles, I cultivate not only my own growth, but also contribute to the greater good, guiding others toward a shared vision of a better world. Ultimately, the true test of leadership, ethics, and wisdom is in their application. It's in the everyday choices I make, the way I treat others, and the long-term impact of my decisions. It's in fostering an environment where people can flourish, making choices that prioritize fairness and justice, and constantly reflecting on how my actions align with the values I hold. In doing so, I lead not with force, but with example, guiding others through the power of integrity, compassion, and clear-sighted wisdom. Book 12, Acceptance, Tranquility, and the Final Reflection. Acceptance is the foundation of true inner peace. Life is unpredictable and filled with moments beyond my control, events that I cannot change or prevent. When I resist these forces, I create unnecessary turmoil within myself. True peace comes from accepting what cannot be altered and understanding that some things are simply beyond my influence. This is not passive resignation, but an active choice to embrace reality, no matter how challenging or difficult. By acknowledging that change, loss, and uncertainty are a natural part of existence, I release myself from the stress of constant resistance. Acceptance is the gateway to freedom, allowing me to focus my energy not on what I cannot control, but on how I respond to it. Through this mindset, I find peace not by changing the world around me, but by changing how I engage with it. Tranquility follows naturally from acceptance. When I stop fighting against the inevitable, my mind can rest. Tranquility is the quiet calm that arises when I align my actions and thoughts with the flow of life rather than constantly resisting it. This sense of peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to face them with composure and clarity. Life will continue to present obstacles and difficulties, but tranquility is about remaining centered in the face of them. It is the ability to remain calm and unshaken, knowing that I am doing my best to live virtuously and that the outcome is not always in my hands. When I am at peace within, I can navigate life's ups and downs without losing my sense of purpose or stability. In cultivating tranquility, I find strength and resilience that carry me through even the hardest times. The final reflection is a moment of perspective. Life is fleeting, and my time here is limited. Recognizing the brevity of life encourages me to let go of attachment to things that ultimately do not matter. The struggles, desires, and worries that often consume my thoughts are small in the vastness of time and the universe. This awareness shifts my focus away from what is transient and encourages me to live with deeper meaning. It is not about what I accumulate or the accolades I receive, but about how I live my life with virtue, integrity, and purpose. The final reflection invites me to evaluate my life not through the lens of regret or missed opportunities, but through the lens of peace. Have I lived in accordance with my values? Have I treated others with kindness and fairness? Have I made choices that reflect my true self? This reflection gives me the strength to release what is past and to find calm in knowing that I have lived authentically. In the end, life's final chapter is not one of fear, but of acceptance. The time I have left is unknown, but how I spend it is within my control. By accepting life as it is, finding tranquility in each moment, and reflecting on my journey with clarity, I can face the end with grace. This reflection reminds me that life is not about the external accomplishments I achieve, but about the internal peace I cultivate along the way. It is the virtue I embody, the relationships I nurture, and the quiet moments of clarity that matter. When I look back on my life, I want to see a life well lived, one rooted in the values that are most important to me. Through acceptance, tranquility, and reflection, I can live each day with purpose, and when my time comes, meet it with a heart full of peace.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to join me. If you found the video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to leave a comment.